So today's little top tip, or a couple of tips for, beg my pardon, doing weights without actually doing weights, include backpacks and shopping bags. And, you know, not just for obvious reasons. I do know that I bang on a lot about sport specificity and training for a purpose. But obviously, backpacks and shopping bags are lifting, even when you're using them for that purpose. But you can also use them for training for those purposes. And you can also use them for training in and of itself. Okay, so, you know, I've got some other little things you might want to think about too, with backpacks and shopping bags that may even mean you choose them instead of kettlebells or dumbbells or barbells. So with backpacks, you can go heavy. Like if you have a proper hiking backpack, they're designed to lift sort of upwards of 40 to 60 kilos. Like you can go pretty heavy. And it's not unusual for me when I'm training with a backpack to also be holding an additional 10 to 20 kilos in my hands. And there's no reason why I couldn't hang some more weight off my shoulders or put a bit more in my hands. I just don't, because I'm usually training for a hike, and so there's no point in carrying stuff in my hands for that hike. And a backpack differs from a dumbbell in that or a barbell, it's strapped to your waist, which changes the weight distribution through your body and through your core. And if you are training for a hike, that just makes it more sport specific than the barbell on the back. But other ways that backpacks are awesome, which I hope you will think about, is it allows you more freedom of movement. So you've got your arms free, and you're not restricted to the frame or the cage of the barbell, which means you can step up and over, you can move sideways, you can do a burpee, like you can do shuttle runs, whatever you want. You've got a lot more freedom of movement while lifting that same weight. So it will probably mean that a lighter weight is heavy enough to load your muscles and bones because you're moving in a more free way. The weight can be made up of actual things, which is cool, again, for sport specificity. When I was training for my hike in New Zealand last month, I put the actual things that I would need to carry in the backpack, and then I added extra water and things for the unknowns and variables. So, for example, one of the girls on our trip, she got an infection on day 2, so we split the heavy stuff in her backpack between us, and because I had trained for that, it was quite comfortable, didn't care. Your center of gravity when wearing a backpack also changes, especially compared to carrying weights in your hands. It lifts your center of gravity up, which makes it a far more challenging exercise for your core. And again, because you can move off center a little bit more, the pelvic floor, the internal muscles, the coordination between muscles is quite dynamic and a bit more versatile than being locked into this barbell back squat or front squat position. It's often easier on the pelvic floor to have the weight around your hips rather than on your shoulders as well. So it's definitely something to try if you have a client that wants to lift the heavy weights but is feeling that load, is not coping internally with the load on their shoulders. Dropping it down onto their hips can make all the difference. I also like the backpack because you can practice movements of everyday life. So I was wearing mine, like making dinner, walking the dogs, just doing everyday things, gym sessions. I'll show you in the comments some of my gym sessions, just because it wasn't just the carrying and the lifting of the backpack I was training for. I was also training for putting it on, putting it off, moving about. You're wearing it all day in a hike. So again, sport specificity, but every time I stepped up or down, the stairs in my house, I was also getting additional loading and stressing through my bones in a functional movement way. So not in a straight line, even weights, perfect gym program kind of way. A backpack is also usually are possible for some people for whom lifting with a barbell or a dumbbell is not possible. So if you think of someone with a disability, so I had a client that couldn't use his hands, we loaded him with a backpack. If, you know, they have a shoulder injury, they may not be able to hold the weight up here, or even dumbbells, you could probably still strap them into a backpack. So it just gives you a bit more diversity and flexibility when it comes to heavy lifting with any clients, particularly your female ones. And shopping bags, because, I mean, face it, 90% of our female clients are also the shoppers. And if we can get away with one trip from the car to the house, we will. And that means, think about it, like we load them from our shoulders, we've got them in our elbow creases and then more in our hands. And then you've got a kid on your back and you've got uneven weights and they're clinking and they're swinging. That's life. And we probably do it more than once a week. So shopping bags are good because carrying shopping bags sucks, but they're also good because of the grips, the different grips. So the way we hold is not standard when you're using a shopping bag, which is, again, variety. The fact that we hold in our hands, in our elbow creases and off our shoulders, and it's uneven, brilliant for diversity. The fact that the bags swing and clink and knock and sit out awkwardly, brilliant for diversity through our body and variety. You get strong in all the directions, in reactive strength, not just straight lines, even weights, and perfection, because life is not perfection. Other things I love about shopping bags is the grip strength, which is essential for longevity. The fact they swing. And you can take them to the park or the beach. I used to live on the beach, don't anymore. Fill them with sand, use them for weights, and then empty the sand, chuck them in your car and go on home. So as an outdoor trainer, being able to add the weight when you're at the park or the beach or whatever, and then not load your car up afterwards is pretty cool. And then actually when you're doing sandbags or shopping bags with sand in them, the grip strength becomes even more diverse and more versatile because you can't flick them upside down or you get a sand shower. So you've got to hold them sort of up and use your hands and wrists and fingers differently. So I'm going to put more ideas in the comments as I have the past couple of weeks, and feel free to add your ones too, because more ideas are good ideas. And I'll see you all next week.